Today on What's Next.
He's such an inspiration. He never stops. He inspires so many other people to just keep moving and living.
Family is everything. Family is everything.
It's never too late, absolutely never too late to get up and do something. I'm always telling my husband, oh, I can help you do that. Remember, I'm strong. Strong, good woman, pull plow.
Hello and welcome into this special National Senior Games episode of What's Next, presented by Caring Transitions. And speaking of transitions, we should all strive for a What's Next that's active, social, fun, and inspiring. And, you know, that's pretty much why we covered the National Senior Games in Pittsburgh, not just to report results, but to share inspiration from the over 12,000 men and women from age 50 to over 100 who have used their love of organized sports to overcome obstacles of all kind. I'm Mark Middleton, pleased as always to be joined by Bill Schaefer, Amy Sweezy, and Cecily Wilson. And guys, you know, we watched and we interviewed men and women of all shapes and sizes and abilities. They were competing in more than 20 sports, and I know it's tough, but Cecily, get us started. Give us one word that you think describes these athletes better than another.
Oh, it's fearless. Absolutely fearless, because they're overcoming all obstacles. They're not letting anything stop them, and they are moving forward and winning. I love it.
Yeah, my word's a little bit more simple, but I'm going to go with doers, because they did the work, right? Whether they won or not, they prepared, they participated, they entered the contest, and they did the work.
All right, I'm going to go with family, both literally and figuratively. I mean, these athletes, they become part of a special community. They encourage each other to stay active and to stay connected even after the games are over. And you know what? Probably the best example of that at the 2023 National Senior Games was a guy named Jack Eckenrode. At 95, he was the one chosen to light the cauldron to start the games. He became the oldest ever to race in the 20-kilometer cycling event. And how's this? Also in the race, his daughter. And they must have had half of the city of Pittsburgh there to cheer them on.
When I got up out of bed this morning, I said to myself, I better make it, because there's going to be too many eyes on me all day. I have 12 children, and all of them got married and have kids, so they're all out here, which helps me.
When he says all, it's his 12 kids, 41 grandkids, and 60-something great-grandchildren, all who've had a front row seat at what life can be when fitness is a part of it.
It makes me want to work out as much as possible to stay fit and have a good life. I think it makes for a happier life, so I enjoy being fit.
He's getting up every day and biking, and he's influencing us all to bike. Like every party that we have at his house, all the kids bring their bikes, and we're just all biking together. And it's just amazing that he's doing it at 95.
Family is everything. Family is everything. And I get support every day, and that's important for me.
He's such an inspiration. He never stops. He inspires so many other people to just keep moving and living and not complaining and just moving on and living their best life.
Way to go, Grandpa!
It's so important, like especially when it's family like this that is just so together and always there. It's just great to know that they're there. And I do sports for school, and when I see my grandpa show up, it means the world to me.
Movement is everything, and it's so important to have your balance. And when you do your calisthenics and marching time, you keep your balance. That's important. You got to keep your legs.
Mr. Jack Eckenrode from Pennsylvania.
Did you hear the cheers for him? Jack Eckenrode was the talk of the town, a 95-year-old sports hero. Everybody wanted to shake his hand, and how about that family? Can you tell how proud they are of this 95-year-old? Amy, don't you think that kind of support, man, that's got to make a huge difference in helping keep you motivated?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I think of all the crazy ideas I've had over the years, and I am so blessed to have two parents and even a husband who support some of my crazy ideas. And a lot of things that I've done in my life, I wouldn't have been able to do without the support of family and friends.
And how interesting, especially in that family, to have the 95-year-old in the family be the coolest person. Mark, I know
right?
you had a great conversation with Jack. In fact, all of us can listen to it on the Fountain of Youth podcast. So for you, what did you think? What did you come away with? What was a takeaway? How do we put a little Jack Eckenrode in our lives?
It's a great question, and here's just a little bit of the rest of the story, Bill. Jack actually lost his wife of 67 years when he was 92. He got remarried at 94. He still volunteers with Meals on Wheels. He cuts his own grass. He shovels the snow in his own driveway. And every day, you heard him mention calisthenics in your piece, he does the same calisthenics routine that he did 70 years ago in the Air Force. So you ask me what the takeaway is? It's pretty simple, folks. Don't stop.
He's been the best partner I could ask for, and the most forgiving partner ever. Who's more forgiving than your own dad?
Every moment is once in a lifetime. I love that. But when we can't be together, it's hard to share those moments. That was before I found an easy way for Mom to connect with us. Oh, the memories. Their first date, to summers at the lake, to ball games, to birthdays, it's all shared with her grandpa. And that brings me happy tears. Mom, were your ears burning?
Oh, you know they were.
Did you get the pictures that Shelby sent you?
I did, and I felt like I was right there with you.
Life is about transitions, and there is an art and a science to navigating them. They're about shedding what matters least so we can focus on what matters most. And that's why Growing Bolder is thrilled to partner with Caring Transitions, the nation's most trusted total solutions provider for seniors in these times. Whether it's home cleanouts, downsizing, relocation, estate sales, and so much more, one call handles it all. To get started with a free consultation, visit caringtransitions.com.
Welcome back to this special National Senior Games edition of What's Next, presented by Caring Transitions. Now, the 2023 Games saw nearly 12,000 athletes over the age of 50 competing in Pittsburgh, giving us all a blueprint for an active aging we can all follow in our very own way. Now, there were so many words of encouragement to soak in from these athletes, but Mark, what was the best thing you heard?
You know, tough question because almost everybody blew me away with their words of inspiration and motivation, but I'm going to have to pick Madonna Hanna because she had every reason to quit running. She ruptured her Achilles tendon. Her husband, who was her coach, passed away, but she didn't quit. Honoring her late husband's request, Madonna, who by the way is now 70, kept going. The best thing I heard was Madonna expressing how it felt to take home the gold after all her hard work. How does it feel to take home the gold?
I'm trying not to cry. I mean, I'm just so overwhelmed.
Why? Why does it mean that much?
This is my first national gold medal. This is my fourth time. This is my fourth time being here. And just to win, I put in all that hard work, 8 months, 5 days a week.
Give us the Madonna Hanna takeaway. What's the key to just keeping on, keeping on?
Just know that it's never too late. Absolutely never too late to get up and do something and be positive and be able to give to other people. And absolutely anything is possible. Just give yourself a chance and just go for it.
Now, that was just moments after winning the gold. And I have to admit, guys, I was surprised by the extent of her emotion. But the feeling of accomplishment is really shared by everybody at the National Senior Games. In fact, obviously, most of them don't win gold, but almost all of them tell us that the moment that they're given their credential that says athlete changes the way they view themselves, and the feeling of accomplishment that they get from challenging themselves and then rising to the occasion is gratifying. And of course, it doesn't have to be sports, which is what we're focusing on today. So Cecily, what or whose story from our coverage of the National Senior Games did you particularly enjoy?
All right, for me, I'm pulling from the interview you did with Kay Glenn. She didn't even start pole vaulting until she was in her 50s. She had arthritis so bad that she needed both hips resurfaced in her 60s. And now in her 70s, she's won countless medals and even holds multiple world records.
I started because it looked like it was fun, and I'm happy to say it's still fun, whether I win or lose that day. But I just can't stop now because I know I won't feel good if I don't. It's just so important for your health. And I'm always telling my husband, oh, I can help you do that. Remember, I'm strong. Strong, good woman, pull plow. I love it. I love the feel of being healthy. And that's why even when I'm tired and I don't want to do it that day, I still do something because I know I'll feel better afterwards. It's all about the health and the people.
And it's so simple, but so valuable to hear Kay just love the feeling of being healthy. Now, it's something we all can do, and it doesn't have to be pole vaulting. It could just be walking, gardening, going for a swim, or even just kicking the ball around in the yard with the kids and the grandkids. So, Amy, what you got?
Well, you know, the theme of the 2023 National Senior Games was bridging champions through the ages, and perhaps no family fit that theme quite like the Smith family. So that's who I chose. They are a 3-generation family of competing athletes. 94-year-old Dwight Smith took home a bronze medal in basketball, and then he was in attendance at pickleball to watch his son, 72-year-old Terry, and he competed with his daughter, 50-year-old Christy. So take a listen to what this father-daughter duo learned from the games.
It's a new sport to us, so we've really been learning it together. And I searched for a partner. I searched high and low, couldn't find anybody to come to Pittsburgh with me, so Dad jumped up and volunteered, and he's been the best partner I could ask for, and the most forgiving partner ever. Who's more forgiving than your own dad?
Well, who's more forgiving than your daughter to say, come on, you're maybe good enough health to come play with me. But imagine playing Senior Olympics, not just a pickup game in high school or a picnic weekend, but you know, your daughter says, we're seniors. I went, oh my goodness, we are. And she said, let's go play ball. So it was a thrill to be asked to play, and we're loving it. We're loving it. Now we're gonna have in our houses, down the hall, we're gonna have Senior Olympic pictures of all of us. So yeah. We're not going to know which house we're in when we go to each other's house. We're all going to look the same. Memories. Good memories.
Ah, yes, memories that will no doubt fill both of their hallways. So intergenerational connection is so rewarding, and the National Senior Games are really a great way to strengthen our relationships. But you don't have to wait until the next competition. You can start right now. Try asking your parent to go for a walk with you, or maybe ask a child to pick up a sport like pickleball. So Bill, you're next. It's your turn. What was the best thing that you heard?
Wow, everything you've picked so far has been amazing. There's got to be something about having a goal and going for it that makes you super inspiring. And I've got one for you that's out of this world. How about a former astronaut? From the space shuttle to the National Senior Games. In fact, one of the things Larry DeLucas is known for is being the first to dunk a basketball in space. Well, now he's a cornholer and a bowler. Combine that with his time as a research scientist, he's a guy that sure has a unique perspective.
So you look at the world, and we're close together. There's no lines between any of the countries. So I took, I think it was 14 courses in geography, so I knew what I was looking at. And it just seems like we're next door to everybody. You're going around the earth every 90 minutes. I just realized we're all so close together, and we have to find a way to live together.
What a great point. And I guess when you actually see it, it's hard to ignore. It just makes sense. We are one, no matter where on this planet we live, and how interesting how often it is that it's almost always sports. The Olympics, the World Cup, the National Senior Games that brings people together to encourage each other as we help ourselves.
We're not made to withdraw from life. We're made to seize each moment and to value every breath. We're made to be bold, to take risks, and pursue our passions. Don't identify with limitation. Embrace possibility. Stop growing older. Start growing bolder. Find your what's next at growingbolder.com.
Welcome back to this National Senior Games edition of What's Next, presented by Caring Transitions. And if you're looking for someone who represents what it means to be growing bolder, yeah, our founder, Mark Middleton, walks the walk. And what's more is he swims the swim, usually faster than everybody. And yeah, he's a little uncomfortable when we shine the spotlight on him, but hey, you can't help but look at the guy in the lead, and that's where Mark always is. He won 4 gold medals in Pittsburgh, and Amy, that makes for a boss who is pretty inspiring.
Absolutely. Way to go, Mark. I am so proud of you. Because that's the thing, you do. You swim the swim. You don't just sit back on your couch eating potato chips and telling other people to go out and live their best life. Look at that. That's you living your best life.
Now, we should bring this up too, Mark. There is a huge downside to what you did, and that's the neck problem from having to look at all your competitors who are way behind you. How you doing? You stretching that thing out?
I like it.
You know what? We hear all the time about the camaraderie. Everybody talks about it, but it is interesting. I mean, honestly, you get up there and you want to. I mean, you want to crush as much as you ever did. You know, when a gun goes off, I want to destroy everybody around me. But you help them, you encourage them, you wish them well before you compete, and when it's done, you're great friends. That's really kind of a unique thing about all of this. Winning is secondary, competing is fun, but you never lose the desire to want to win.
A lot of the people that do swimming, they've got some amazingly inspiring stories to tell. Mark, who are some of the others that you met that kind of fill that bill?
One who inspired me was a woman by the name of Janet Rushmere. She actually set a National Senior Games record in the women's 90 to 94-year-old 100 freestyle. And watching her swim was fun, but sitting down and talking to her was so much better. I mean, she is absolutely delightful, and you get the impression that she gets as much joy out of simply getting up each and every morning as she does setting records and winning gold medals. In fact, Janet told me that her husband, who is also in his 90s, both of them have a healthy diet, they walk daily, they love to read, they have great friends. So I think the real key is just keeping a positive attitude, and that's what you see at the National Senior Games.
And that works in the pool and out of it too. Amy, there was a different record that is so much fun to mention at this year's games because it blows people's minds. What would you like us to know about Roy Englert and George Freeman?
Well, I tell you, Bill, these two are the only 2 athletes to participate in every single National Senior Games competition since they began in 1987. Freeman is now 91 years old, and he continues to bowl and run the track. Englert is now 100 years old. He's a runner who's broken several world age group records over the years and continues to turn heads at the National Senior Games. And I think the takeaway here is about having something to look forward to. I mean, both men talked about how much they love this event and how the thought of seeing friends and getting to compete in Pittsburgh gave them the motivation over the past year to stay active.
Cecily, who stood out to you? Who was it for you who stepped up to show all of us what's really possible and what kind of lessons we can learn from them?
Simeon Gibson didn't just ride his bike at the National Senior Games, he rode his bike to the National Senior Games. He pedaled more than 1,400 miles from Oklahoma to Pennsylvania for the start of the games, and then competed in the cycling events. This 77-year-old first started riding his bike after he was diagnosed with diabetes, and in the process lost nearly 100 pounds. He hopes his journey will send a message to others about the importance of daily exercise.
You're likely to be faced with helping a loved one through a life transition, and Caring Transitions can partner with you during this time. We offer a customized approach to each individual for downsizing, home cleanouts, estate sales, online auctions, and more. With more than 280 locations nationwide, our experts are here to provide compassionate care and help you manage it all. Learn more with a free consultation at caringtransitions.com.
Every moment is once in a lifetime. I love that. But when we can't be together, it's hard to share those moments. That was before I found an easy way for Mom to connect with us. Oh, the memories. Their first date, to summers at the lake, to ball games, to birthdays, it's all shared with her grandpa. And that brings me happy tears. Mom, were your ears burning?
Oh, you know they were.
Did you get the pictures that Shelby sent you?
I did, and I felt like I was right there with you.
Welcome back to What's Next, presented by Caring Transitions. As we wrap up the 2023 National Senior Games, if you're looking for more stories, articles, and podcasts on inspirational masters athletes and the benefits of physical activity, be sure to sign up for the Fountain of Youth monthly e-newsletter. You can go to nsga.com/connect and you'll get stories delivered right to your inbox. All right, it is time now for Your Take, where each week we ask our more than 1 million Facebook followers to weigh in on a thought-provoking question. So this week we asked, what is one of your favorite memories from sports when you were younger? Well, Melba remembers winning a half-gallon of ice cream in an archery contest at the age of 11. Caroline has fond memories of swimming and fishing in the Gulf of Mexico. Finally, Laura recalls that her bike was her best friend. All right, Bill, what about you? Start us off here.
Oh my gosh, 10 years old, my first competitive ice hockey game. We got a bunch of kids together and we rented the rink at Winterland in St. Louis. We had the ice at 3 a.m. We had to get our parents up to drive us there. They were thrilled about that. I was the goalie. I had sofa cushions for leg pads, magazines wrapped around my arms, and it was the greatest feeling ever.
I was at a swimming meet a couple of years ago, and a man, an old guy, came up to me and said that he was on the FSU swim team with me back in the 1970s, and he handed me an envelope that had 2 letters and a blue ribbon in it. And it says that he was not selected to swim in the championship meet, but afterwards I went up to congratulate one of the FSU swimmers. One of them was Mark Middleton. I don't know what he saw in me or if he just wanted me to become a better swimmer, but he handed me a box and asked me to open it, and inside it was the gold medal that he had just won. He told me to keep it and give it back to me someday when I won another one. And then he gave me the other letter that said, I still remember you giving me your first place medal from the 5th annual Independent Southern Championships in 1973. Through the years, I have shared this story with my 5 children about recognizing and praising others for their efforts. And then he gave me a blue ribbon. And you know, I think the point of all this is that we never really know the impact that we're going to have on others. And yeah, it's not about the medals or the records. It's about, you know, what we can do with small gestures to help everybody else. You know, I think it's about the potential we all have to make a difference in the lives of others each and every day, which, you know, is a pretty good what's next for all of us.